We are back after a long while, maybe 2 weeks of sessions when we used to have webinars. Today we have with us a webinar with one of the most or the maybe biggest maybe leader in the market. We have Mr. Venkat here, who's the co-promoter of IIFL, and of course, I'm after a long while I was telling that I'm feeling nervous to introduce someone. We have also Mehka here, who is the fund manager for IIFL Invest. Today's session is primarily focused for us to understand what is the thesis on which IIFL operates, both on partnership side as well as on investment side, and also to understand from Venkat sir what's happening in the market, what's the view they have on the fintech side, generally the technology strategy, anything which he wants to have on board. From my perspective, what we are looking at in this session is, if some of you are really interested in sort of working with them or as a partner or from a funding perspective, we are going to share a link. You can give your feedback there. You can give your remarks there. And the top 3 guys will have a chance to meet Venkat sir for one-on-one pitch. Again, the idea is that we should get very close to the ecosystem. I personally have worked for last few months with IIFL Group, and I can tell you that they're actually one touch away. When they like something, they can actually, the meeting between us and them can happen really fast. So I'm urging each one of you, if you're really interested in working with them, come on board. And they've been supporting the ecosystem a lot. We know in history that from a PaySense to so many other companies initially have worked with them. And we'll also talk about where they invest and what. So over to you, sir. And I think I may have put you on mute. Over to you, sir. And we'll look at from your side what perspective you have. The participants here are largely from the fintech ecosystem. And many of them are really eager to work with you. And I know that when you changed the date last time from 11 to 14th, many of them are reached out saying they are changed kar diya, we'll have to wait for a couple of more days. So with this, over to you.
First of all, good afternoon, everybody. And thank you, Samir, for the kind words of introduction. You have been very generous. Thank you. I have my colleague Mehka also, who is there with me. And as Samir said, we have been active participants in this entire space, and we have not approached this program in an organized manner. And now we want to approach this entire fintech ecosystem in a proper and organized manner. And I have a small presentation in which I'll tell you what in IIFL we are planning to do. And after that, all of you are free to reach out to Mehka and me, and we'll be more than willing to give all of you a patient hearing. Next slide, please. Coming from India Infoline, in the last 2-3 years, we have had a big, I would say, our own mental mindset change, because earlier we used to believe in developing everything ourselves. And in the last maybe 2-3 years, we have realized that there is a lot of action happening in the entire fintech space. And instead of suffering from what I call as a not invented here syndrome, it is better to participate with best-in-class vendors and try to scale up instead of doing things yourself. And the reason is primarily, technology field is vast and the market space is vast. And alone you cannot drink the ocean. So might as well have a partnership model. And this big mindset change is responsible. So I'll just put this line to give you and share with you our philosophy. We want to partner and also invest in game-changing founders, leveraging emerging technologies to build fintech companies that have the potential to disrupt the business. So we'll invest also, and we'll partner with you also to make sure that you can reach and hit the marketplace fast. One of the reasons why we believe we are very good partners to have is because we have been there and done that, and we are also very established. So we have a large physical presence. We are present in over 500 towns and cities. We have 3,000 branches. We have millions of customers. We have a NBFC book. We have a broking business. We have a wealth management business. So apart from lending, apart from maybe taking deposits, we have done virtually everything in the financial services space. So we are a good, I would say, partner to have. Next slide, please. So we believe that on the pillars of success, the first and most important pillar is the entrepreneur, which is people like yourself. There's nothing more encouraging and more enterprising than working with a partner, because people like you are driven, you have the domain knowledge, and you have the hunger for growth. Technology is again a big key enabler, and we have seen in the recent past technology entire landscape change dramatically. And there are huge opportunities out there, right from data scientists to AI to UI to UX to credit scoring to customer acquisition to trading to robo advisory. So space is high and a lot of things are happening. Domain knowledge is very important because, in financial services, I would say more important than technology is the way business is done, whether it is credit scoring or whether it is portfolio constructing and things like that. So where domain knowledge is very important. And we are very happy that even if the person is strong in technology and he lacks domain knowledge, we are always there because we are been doing this business for the last 20 years. And last but not the least is that policy and regulation, because financial services is a very highly regulated industry, and it is always good to be on the right side of the financial regulations. Next slide, please. We are very bullish on financial services and the fintech space simply because of the India stack. So I think there's a lot of things are happening in the entire space, and we have seen how account aggregator model will make sure that data is available seamlessly. The open credit enabled network, again, it will revolutionize the way credit is given. The public credit registry, again, KYC, etc. Plus data on the customer's behavior will become very easy to access. Data empowerment and protection architecture to make sure that misuse of data does not take place. So all in all, there is huge action taking place to make sure that data about customer behavior and customer KYC is available, which was when we maybe 10-15 years ago, that was the biggest challenge. So the entire explosion of data, the explosion of the India stack, the explosion of account technology thanks to RBI is so huge that the laws of the financial services game will be rewritten once again. Next slide, please. For example, this entire point, which is about payment space, we have seen how UPI has done so well. Data sharing, which is the account aggregator infrastructure. Unique identification, which is the Aadhaar. Aadhaar has made KYC very simple. And digital infrastructure, because of smartphone penetration, internet penetration, thanks to Jio. So you have seen this entire triangle coming together in such a way that the opportunity in front of us is huge. And what happens, what it does is that it makes customer acquisition very easy. And earlier, when we started the industry 20 years ago, all this wet signature filling forms was there. Now just put an Aadhaar number, get an OTP, and at least bulk of the KYC is done. And so all these stuff which will make sure that the ingredients in the ecosystem are absolutely right and ripe for explosion. Next slide, please. So again, as I just say, this is the opportunity with us because we can have a partnership with you in the sense that we can invest, we can distribute, because as I said, we have millions of customers. We have a physical presence. So from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, not exactly Kashmir, from say Jammu to Kanyakumari, we can reach out to any location you have, and we can have actually a physical presence to make sure that if a handshake is required, it can be done. We are also in our businesses, we have opened our APIs from broking to everything. We have and lending, we have an open API so that data connect becomes very easy. And so basically, not only we can fund, but also we can have a revenue relationship with you. So net, we believe that we are a good partner to have because we can partner in our sales, we can partner in distribution, we can partner in customer data, we can partner in investment, we can do, and we have all kinds of models available to you. Next, please. So from our side, we are very simple. We are geography agnostic. As I said, we are physically present from Jammu to Kanyakumari. So you can be anywhere, but so long as you're located in India, it's easy for us. Initial investment amount can be anything. Fund focus areas, we prefer to focus in the area of fintech, which we know about. So hence, wealth tech, advisory, lending, broking, trading, insurance distribution. These are the stuff which we know because we have done it and we believe we can add value. Next, sorry, the last point I wanted to say. And on the funding side, we can come at any level, whether it is a startup, a proof of concept, scaled up, Series A, Series B, Series C. So we are open for everything. Next, please. So these are some of the examples of partnerships we had. We had some of them we have partnerships with investment, some of them we have partnership without investment. And Trendline is a information services company. So we work with them to build screeners. Now we are trying to work with them and build standardized portfolios and backtesting. Legality is a legal workflow, and eSign Finbox is again a lending business. Data Sutram is a data and analytics company. WellDesk is a standardized portfolio execution platform, and Setu is again a digital loan journey on WhatsApp. So these are some of the partnerships which we have. And as I said in the beginning, we are very excited. The entire financial services screen in India is about to get exploded and about to get disrupted. And we are very keen to partner with all the exciting companies out there. Thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation, and I'm open to answer any question that you have. And both me and Mehaka are there working on this project together. So any one of you can free to reach out to any one of us for any doubts and queries that you have. Thank you, Samir, and over to you. And if people have some questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
So I think the first question I got was very, very specific to entrepreneurship, right? And you have been building the businesses as well, right? So the first question which has come is basically to say that as an entrepreneur, what are the key skills? I mean, any advice, any key skill we should be looking at, right? Because I think they're looking at history from your side and what you look at in entrepreneurs as well, right?
Actually, I'll just tell you from our own journey and what we believe are the key, I would say, elements of success. So we call it the H model. So first and foremost is you should be willing to work hard, and that is given. You know, there are many people who say that uska lottery lag gaya, iska lottery lag gaya, but that is an act of God. So nobody can run a business model on luck or on act of God. So first of all, I would tell you that once you decide to become an entrepreneur, then all this entire stories of work-life balance, home-life balance, etc. goes for a toss. And I can tell on behalf of Nirmal and myself that we are very grateful that our spouses have supported us. So we have been, so in the beginning, all Saturday, Sunday, work day, holiday, Diwali, you have to be working 24/7. So that is a big, I would say, mindset change you have to do and be prepared. I think in the younger generation nowadays, it's fashionable to have work-life balance. But if you're into the entrepreneur pool, in the swimming pool of entrepreneurship, remember that you have to be 24/7 work. So that is, I would give a caveat. So this is hard work. Second thing is you should be hungry for success. And this is related to my first point for hard work, because you should have an innate hunger to achieve and build something big. So even, and when I mean hunger, and you should be shameless in the sense that if somebody says no to you and you fail, you should be willing to take it up as a part and parcel of life and don't get, you should not be sensitive. So, and generally, I believe that hungry people are, when they are hunting for food, they're generally shameless. So I would say that you should be hungry in that sense. Third is honesty. You know, many people underestimate the power of honesty, and trust me, honesty pays off. So, and in the long term, honesty works. And this is a time-tested formula. You know, I'm not talking like Raja Harishchandra saying that he sach bolo, but in general, you should be honest. If you have given your commitment, you should honor it. And if there's a problem, you should go back to the customer and say that this is a problem, please help. And I would say 80% of the cases, the customer agrees. But if he does not agree, also honor your side of the bargain and say that, okay, your tuition fees, I'll pay and maybe recover sometime else. And fourth is humility. You know, all these things about whatever I've said, if you're not humble to learn from your mistakes and say that, okay, galti hua, I'll go back to the drawing board and again work hard to be successful. So I would say that you should be willing to work hard. You should be hungry for success. You should be humble to learn from mistakes, and you should be honest. If you do these four things, then God will be very kind and he'll make sure that lage raho munna bhai, to kabhi na kabhi lottery lag jayega.
Nahi, badhiya. This is good. This is good. I think very interesting. So one of the questions which I've just got is that would IIFL be willing to work with companies at the ideation stage and with good team, but ideation stage? Has it happened, or would you be keen to do that?
See, as of now, we have, to be very honest, we have worked with companies which have come to some level with a running model. So we have not met people who have at absolutely idea stage. Idea stage is like it's too early. But from our side, I think we want to interact with the talent outside. So my guess is that yes, we'll meet and work with people who have ideas also. But in general, what happens is that from ideas to proof of concept, there's a failure rate is very high, because in India, ideas are dime a dozen. I'm sorry to say this, but please don't take me negatively, but there's no value of ideas, because the first proof is when rubber hits the road. जब आप job छोड़ के ideas पे believe करके job छोड़ेंगे, तब that idea has some feeling. Otherwise, idea ही रहता है. And as I jokingly said, India में everybody has lots of ideas. So idea is good. We'll work with you, but for the idea to move ahead, one of the partners has to take a leap of faith and jump into the swimming pool. You cannot say that कि मैं idea लेके swimming pool के side में खड़ा हूँ without jumping in. So once you jump into the water, then the idea gets a life of its own.
Excellent. So the next question is coming from Vaibhav. He's asking, what are the areas which you believe in the fintech world will work the best? Maybe the most bullish area in the fintech world.
See, we are actually very bullish on the entire financial services space. So, and the reason is very simple. If you just take a deep breath and look at any parameter in financial services, India is a hugely underpenetrated market. And as the economy grows, financial services tend to grow at a higher multiple than the economy. If assuming that the real economy grows at about 8-9%, assuming that Madam Nirmala Sitharaman has given a correct figure of 8% or 9%, add inflation to it, which will be about 5 to 6%. So then effectively you have an economy which is growing in nominal terms at 15%. If the economy is growing at 15% or 17%, then financial services typically grow at about 20%, assuming 500 basis, 5 percentage points more. So if you have an economy which is growing at 20% in financial services, then everything you talk about has huge growth. Mutual fund, currently mutual fund assets in the country are about 30 lakh crores. That will become 1 lakh crores in the next maybe 10 years. Or if you look at insurance penetration, we are at 1-2%. It will explode. Health insurance, it will explode. Pension or social security, it will explode. Lending, it will explode. You name it, wealth management will explode. We are a 2.5 trillion economy. We'll become a 5 trillion economy in the next 5 years. The entire wealth managers in the country are like, it's nothing. So I would say that whichever area you touch in financial services, sky's the limit. So we are open to whatever idea you have.
Okay. Excellent. The next question is come from Soumya. He's asking, what is the thesis of IIFL in terms of infrastructure as a service kind of players, right? API driven like a Setu and others. So what's the thesis that is specifically in the wealth management space? But maybe you can give a generic view on API as service. What is your view on that? And of course, if this question maybe Mehka, you want to take whichever way.
See, actually on the API part of it, we believe that, say for example, we have skills in trading. So we are opening our API so that people can write their own algorithms to trade. So my opinion is that I have not understood the question about what you mean by infrastructure and API. But for us, we are opening our API so that people can write their own front-end rules so that you can participate with our business. That's how we are looking at APIs, especially when it comes to broking, because I know the broking APIs, we have opened the APIs for trading. So you can write your own trading algo and then execution can take place through us. Okay. I hope I answered that question.
No, yeah, absolutely. And maybe question from their side, what kind of partnership as of now would be top on the payment side and lending side? Any specific area where IIFL is looking at growth? Because many of you are from out here from gold business, many are from different businesses. So specific area where you're right now looking for partnerships.
See, basically we are looking for partnership in the lending space or things like that. I'll tell you what, some off top of the mind, Mehka can add if she wants. One is how to acquire customers digitally, because the small ticket customers, the customer acquisition is very important. How to improve our credit scores, because if you give a small ticket loan, 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, then credit score, automated disbursement, automated rules become very important. How to improve our collections, how to identify early delinquency, and the list can go on and on. So these are some areas where we want to work. Mehka, please, if you add something if you want to.
No, I think broadly you've covered most of the areas that we are looking at. Efficiencies across the digital lending supply chain. So if there are players where they're adding certain value, or in fact even improving the efficiency of the existing processes or existing services, we would be more than keen to work along.
There is no session which is not focused on or getting a question on blockchain, right? So I think I'm sure you would have answered that somewhere. What's your view on blockchain and of course the currency thing which has now come up as well? So any thoughts on any views on that?
So, okay, one second. Are you talking currency? You're talking about Bitcoin.
I'm talking about this CBDC, the government currency.
See, in my belief is that every government has the right to issue currency, and every government will retain the right to issue currency. So it is very unlikely that governments will let go of that right. So it's just a matter of time that digital currency in India, as blessed by RBI and government of India, would have come. So I have my own views on the penetration of that, because the way UPI has grown, I think we have a proxy digital currency already, but I think what they meant was maybe the issuance, instead of having paper currency, to issue currency digitally. Coming to other cyber, whatever that, other cryptocurrencies, I am skeptical. So I'll pass my views on that. And third, about blockchain. Blockchain I think is a very exciting technology, because it makes data authenticity available in the public domain, which is very high. So I think the use cases of that are still in infant stage, but I think my guess is that sooner or later that this is verifying data using blockchain will become a big opportunity.
Okay. Another question is which has come is to say that when you do investment, would you also partner with them? What is the thought process behind this investment, and maybe investment partnership or both? How is it aligned? So
frankly speaking, investment and partnership can work together, or investment can be independent of partnership. We think that if we invest in you, you can come to us because we have, as I said, millions of customers, physical presence, understanding of domain, so we can add value. But if you're a promoter who say, "Okay, मेरे को value addition का जरूरत नहीं है, पैसा दो और आगे बढ़ो," so that also we are open. So we are not so I would say we are agnostic. So let me put it this way. But we believe we can add value. So if you take our money, you can take our advice also. But if you don't want it, so I can't do anything about it. So if you believe that the management team is outstanding, opportunity is outstanding, you know everything more than I know, so then why should we not invest to make money? Because our ultimate aim in the fund is to make money. If you disagree, please share your views.
No, this is good. I think another question is coming that all large organizations are also turning into digital platforms and technologies, right? So I think, and you're also offering APIs, right? So maybe you want to quickly talk about how IIFL itself is turning digital, and maybe at a very, very high level. That will be a question which is.
Actually, I'll just give you a very simple answer to it. You know, in the year 2000, we became a .com company. So 99 to be precise, when IndiaInfoline.com was launched, and many of you were very young or in college that time. So at that time, you know, everybody thought that internet is a very new thing. So I'll always give an example of internet is like when in 100 years ago, go back in time when the internal combustion engine was invented and cars became very popular, trucks became very popular. So at that time, people were using bullock carts to move items from one place to another. Suddenly this truck came, and then it is not that you became a truck-enabled company or a truck-focused company or an internal combustion engine propelled company or railway propelled company. It was just another way of moving things from point number A to point number B. So when the internet came, it was nothing. Internet was again a disruption of the middleman, explosion of availability of information. So it is not that कि मेरा physical business चल रहा है, पर मैं अभी internet website खड़ा किया and now I become internet company. So similarly, digital revolution is there. The mobile revolution is there. The data availability is there. So people, whether you like it or not, have to re-engineer your business to make sure that you expand the business. Otherwise, you'll be kicked out of business. So if you go back in time and when computerization happened for the first time, so it was not that computer came and things happened. Computer came and removed the workflow. People who adopted computers cut their cost of operations and made sure others were driven out of business. So it is like that. So we believe that fintech is a more efficient way, because mobile is there in everybody's hand. Data is now exploded. So internet availability has improved significantly. So it's a new way of workflow in which you have to make sure that you adopt it to survive. And I'll give you 2-3 very simple examples. One is gold loans. When we started a gold loan business, we used to have a computer everywhere in all the gold loan branches, and then it used to be a different process कि data भरो, उसके बाद वो आके वो KYC करो, फिर PAN card लो, check करो. अभी now that entire KYC is very simple because you take the Aadhaar card, put one number, वो data आता है, OTP आता है, KYC is done. So now whether it's a digital enabled business or a new business, I don't know, but effectively KYC is KYC. We are using Aadhaar to make sure that KYC is done simpler. Second thing is about how mobile has changed the trading experience of everyone. Earlier, customer used to trade using an RM. They used to call the customer or the RM used to punch orders. Now the mobile interface has become so good that customers are trading on their own. So if I had not built the mobile interface good and not empowered the customer, he would have shifted his business somewhere else and I would have been out of business. So the way we look at mobile or way we look at fintech or way we look at digital is that these are reality. You have to adopt all these new technologies fast to survive and grow. Otherwise, you will be out of business. I hope I've answered your question.
Perfect. And maybe इस क्वेश्चन के बिना तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता आज के डेट में कि आपका BNPL के बारे में क्या राय है?
Oh, BNPL, my opinion, BNPL is a big opportunity. So it is just lending. See, understand, there is a very nice dialogue by John Kenneth Galbraith, if I remember correctly, and he talks about a very phenomenal line, which is my favorite line. In no other business, other than financial services, I'm summarizing it, does the reinvention of wheel in a more unstable form get the unwanted importance that it gets? So अपना business में क्या, lending is a lending. वो पहले उसको हम लोग lending को personal loan बोलते थे, short क्या STPL, small ticket personal loan. Now it has become BNPL. But ultimately lending is lending. You give money to a person based upon some credit score and hope to collect. So BNPL is a good opportunity. Lending in India is a great opportunity because credit penetration is pathetically low. So whether you call it BNPL, you call it STPL, or you call it PL, all of them are lending only. So it's a great opportunity.
Okay. Another one, and I don't know how much time you have, but I don't know. I know I've overstretched your time.
No worries.
Okay.
I think we can take 2-3 more questions.
Okay. So what should be the benefit? So people are, when they're looking at investors, they look at classical VCs. They also have their own categorization. So what is the benefit they will get if they get fund from IIFL? And that's a straight question that आपके पास क्यों आए, आपके पास क्या खास है, right? So that is the question.
Very good question. So somebody asked me. So you can come to us for 2-3 reasons. One is आपका proof of concept अच्छा से हो जाएगा क्योंकि हम लोग ये financial services business में है. So if you come and tell me about anything like broking or wealth management or insurance distribution or lending, तो आपका proof of concept आसान से हो जाएगा क्योंकि आप हमारे पास आओगे तो आपका at least basic product testing and some sanity check will happen very fast. So you should come to us because, and plus if you have something, then we can, and we like you, then in our ecosystem you will be able to scale up much faster. क्योंकि आपको घर बैठे बैठे 40 लाख कस्टमर मिल जाएंगे, आपको घर बैठे बैठे 500 ब्रांचेस का 3000 ब्रांचेस का फिजिकल प्रेजेंस आ जाएगा. तो फेमस वर्ड ना फिजिटल, तो आपका बिजनेस मॉडल फिजिटल हो जाएगा डे 0 में.
Absolutely great. And maybe another question is that from a focus area of this fund, I think what has been the focus area of this fund, which we are talking right now, which is 100 crores, and I have also heard that it increased further or it would increase further as well. And what have been the key investment done so far?
No, these are the investments we have said: Trendline, Legality, Finbox, Data Sutram, and we are looking at more. Our focus is financial services, be it wealth, insurance, whatever we are open. So we will invest.
And in any of these cases, have you seen any impact on these investing companies and benefits which is accruing to IIFL out of this?
So our benefit is there because we are users of Trendline, we are using Legality, we are using Finbox. So we are your customer also. So that's good because you have on day 0, you have big NBFC as your customer.
I think I think I would have taken all the questions which were coming out. Yeah, how do we reach out to you for pitching, right? I think that question I will take. That's
Samir, you can answer.
Yeah, I'll answer that. Or maybe Meka, you want to answer that. How do we reach out for pitching?
So basically, I think y'all can send in your deck or an email to us, and we will review it and reply back to you. Y'all can send in an email. So I'll give my email ID,
I think
meka.oberoi@.
Meka, what we can do is so for each one of you, there is a link of feedback given. Please fill it up. That's built specifically for these purposes. So that link is there. Abhishek, you can fill it up and we will sort of reach out to you and plan those activities. Very, very simple. I'm being very honest because I've gone through this grind sometimes. You fill it, maybe we will be slightly slower. We will go through your sessions and presentation, but then we'll have a meeting with Meka, and then to reach out to a top management and leadership team of IIFL for the next round is not that difficult. I've seen it moving really fast. Venkat sir and Nirmal sir have been very supportive of this fund, right? So I think it's not about that. There are hundreds of people in between. What you see is the only three people you will get to meet in the journey, right? That's about it. So shouldn't be that difficult. But I think, sir, thank you for this time here. I think some of the questions were also actually one of them was mine, right? So I wanted your insights on the founders, what they should look at, and I really like the idea that they have to be shameless, they have to be humble, and they have to be absolutely hardworking. I think I keep telling my wife that don't even look at me, right? Saturday, Sunday we are working and training, right? So बाद में देख लेंगे जो देखा जाएगा. ठीक है sir. Thank you, sir. Thank
you so much, and I thank all the participants and Sameer for giving me opportunity to present my thoughts. And thank you so much for giving me a patient hearing, and thank you so much for your questions. I had great fun answering them, and all my answers are straight from the heart. If I have offended anybody, my apologies. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So with this, we will continue with our session and go through the details of the engagement, which is how you would want to look at onboard. So maybe Mehika, you want to go a bit deeper into this, what kind of collaboration has happened in the market. So maybe a bit of a more detail about collaboration with FinTechs and what are the key business partnership you have had. Maybe a bit more layering and bit more details. And then we'll get deeper into how do you do partnership with us and onboarding process. We'll go deeper into it.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we can talk about specifics of certain companies that we ended up investing in and what essentially are we doing with those companies. And let me just get the deck up.
Yeah, I think
so yeah, these were some of the names that sir did highlight where we have invested in these companies, as well as we have a business partnership with them. So typically companies that come to us in terms of either collaboration or investment, there is a distribution reach that IIFL can offer these companies which help them scale. So it's more like a win-win, right? We let you test your product, we let you grow and enhance your product, and that essentially helps you reach your market also faster. So one of them that we invested in very early on was Finbox. A lot of the products has evolved in the last 1 year of us working with Finbox, but it's mostly an embedded finance company. Again, a space that we think will grow significantly faster because financial services is something which will become omnipresent in the coming years, right? It's not that a user will probably go to an app just to take a loan, but anywhere and everywhere that he might want the financial service in the same app that he's using. And this is something which is seen across globally as well, with Walmart also wanting to offer financial services within its app. And in India, you've seen some early signs of this happening, right? So guys like Khata Book, Gym Book, which are more SME focused businesses, are wanting to add a layer of probably offering loans to these same customers basis whatever they have been able to do on the platform. So this as a thesis we think is a very big opportunity within the lending space, which is where Finbox was one company where they were essentially building a stack out. Again, I think someone specifically asked what's our view on API and API companies which are offering the API layer. I think API is something that drives experience. So we're more than happy to partner, because if you look at Finbox is, again, Finbox is an API solution provider, right? So they are a tech solution provider. And that's why we invested in Finbox. And today our digital loan journeys, Finbox is a partner to our digital loan journey. If I talk about a second example, which is legality again, we invested in legality. We started off our interaction with legality as the customer of legality. And this was during pandemic time where we were looking at solutions. Okay, we can't visit the client to get the loan agreement signed. And this started off with actually IIFL Housing Finance wanting to have a solution. And then when we were moving to our digital journey to figure out how you can legally get someone to sign a loan agreement, and the workflows that these guys had built was, far ahead than what we already had various solutions which were available. And that's why we chose legality, and we obviously invested in them to help them scale faster in terms of their product, because the time that all of this happened was actually the COVID time when businesses were wanting to get digital and were looking for options of digital. So that's another one. If I talk about Data Sutram, it's an early stage company. So for some that ask that do we invest in early stage? Absolutely. Data Sutram, when we invested in them, it was a very, very early stage company. Only an MVP established is what I could say. But a few use cases solved, MVP establishes where Data Sutram was. It's more of a geo intelligence platform which can help us identify, where exactly can you do your next round of expansion. That's something that they help us with. However, there are use cases that we're working with the company to solve for, because if you have a PIN code level data, can you actually analyze at a particular PIN code, what is the kind of audience that is saying? Can we build a model which says that, okay, what possibility could be a default rate in a particular PIN code? And these are use cases that we're working with this company to understand. Since they have that platform, can it also expand into just, a financial services extension where they help understand at a PIN code level that, does it make sense to do business in this PIN code now, whether it, essentially means selling or probably pitching a financial service to actually undertaking lending. And then Trendline, I think, is one of the most known investment of IIFL, but we invested in Trendline very, very early on when, Trendline had just started building the platform, and it has been one of our investments which we've seen scale with IIFL. So, now there are many brokers that use Trendline, whether it's their DVM scores, SWOT analysis. Most of the pages on money control are powered by Trendline. So Trendline is one of our other investee companies. The partnership here over the last few years has evolved from us giving suggestions onto what is the kind of product that can enhance their product suite better, what is the kind of enhancements that can be done, what is the kind of direction that the company can take. So that has been our relationship with Trendline. So these are some ones that we've already invested in out in market domain. There are a couple of other ones where announcement would be made like in the next probably a month's time, which we've shortlisted. And investments are just about to get done. That's when we'll make announcements. Probably by next time we'll have 3 more added to this list.
So that's great. Maybe the question which was also coming is that how is the journey once we apply, right? Maybe since the journey is very specifically, how will they move forward? Maybe you can spend some time. So the process as well as the areas of focus, both.
So basically, guys, the process is pretty simple. Sameer has shared in the link, right? So basically, all of us have access to your application once made. We kind of review it, and after the first round of screening, it comes towards the second round where we have a discussion. And ultimately, if we like after the second discussion, I think there's no other leg. You will directly get a chance to present the idea to either Nirmal sir or Venkat sir. And then we will close on the investment round. So the idea is we don't typically work like a fund where you would get through many stages and then it will take a lot of time. If we like the idea, it's going to be fast. If we are, and I'm being very honest, if we are like not sure or we would want to evaluate more, the time could be a little higher, depending upon where exactly the other things are. So basically, if there's an idea which got pitched where we essentially like the idea and we want to close it, then obviously we'll just move faster and close it out. We'll not take a lot of time. We should term sheet in as less as a week's time also. So it's not that way. It's fairly simple, 3 stages and you are done. And wherever, we think that we might not be able to contribute as much, we've been very upfront in saying, look, probably IIFL might not come in, and what you could look at is something that we'd be very open in communicating. So that way communication is very, very, very straightforward in our case.
Another question which was coming was typically the amount of investment done and what phases, because initially we were always talking about smaller funds. So maybe a bit more detail about, maybe you can also talk about the segments we are focusing on. As well.
So guys, this is actually the list of segment which is through the financial services domain, like sir was also highlighting. Like, we think financial services as a sector is going to grow. If you look at the amount of initiatives that the government is taking to help ensure aid, the growth of financial services sector in India, it's at the forefront. If you talk about the number of fundings or the number of unicorns that have been made, it's within the fintech space. So that's the gambit of areas that we're looking at, whether it's digital payments, digital lending, wealth tech, enabling tech, insure tech, neobanking. All of these are areas where we are very keen on partnering as well as investing. If you see spectrums across the financial services chain, and that's where our focus area essentially lies. I think, Samir, I think you had one specific question. This just talks about what the fund strategy is all about. Basically, as we highlighted, we're just a fintech focused fund. So technology as an enabler towards financial services is what we are looking at. It's not just capital, but we can also get in the partnership within the IIFL ecosystem that can help you scale. And because there is synergies which are possible between IIFL and the fintech, the growth trajectory that you will essentially see after partnering with IIFL will be far more, because it's not just capital which is coming in, but it's also the distribution reach and the strength that we have, which comes in along with us.
No, excellent. Maybe some of them were asking that if the need for funding is much higher than maybe $1 to $1 million, whatever that 1 crore to 7 crores. How do they go about doing it? Will the same framework work, or how exactly will
the approach framework remains the same? However, obviously the amount of work that will go into deciding the check size will be a little more than when we are actually issuing smaller check sizes. Are we open to issuing larger check sizes? Very much. If we like an idea, we are open to taking investment quantum like 3 to 4 times of what we're doing. That's absolutely not a challenge for us. It's just about, do we like the idea enough to kind of invest? So can the quantum go to 6-7 mil? Yes, it can.
No, excellent. Yeah, and maybe from a just process perspective, I will tell that while we have given you the link where you can submit the request for partnering with IIFL or getting investment, please fill it up. Top 3 guys will any which way get a chance to meet Venkat sir as well. But beyond that, what we are doing, we will do is, if you are looking for investment, we'll share you a link where you have to submit the application. And after that, we'll get through a short assessment. Actually, assessment will be done on our site, the digital website. We'll have a short half-an-hour chat with you. If we feel based on documentation it looks all relevant, we'll then plan a meeting with Mehika, and she's managing the fund. You've seen the movement pretty fast, and right now we are in the next stages with a couple of them, and it doesn't take that much of time. But of course, if it is not there, we will also be clear in telling. In many cases, we have told that you have to wait for some time because the product also has to mature if it is too early stage. And then after Micah's meeting, typically if the product is aligned and there's a possibility of investment, we have seen pretty fast movement and meeting with Venkat sir or Nirmal sir. And then I've seen to the extent that it reaches to the closure stage pretty fast, right? So I think the movement is there. I think it's up to us to see how do we sort of utilize this opportunity. And straight and fair, right? So I think this is great. Meka, anything else you thought we should be sharing with the participants? I know it's a short. I mean, it has moved really fast, right? Yeah, I think one question has come that again, IIFL invest in non-Indian companies.
IIFL is going to be more keen on companies which have a distribution within India, which means your core business area is India. That's where our keenness lies. Can we invest in companies which are not formed in India? Yes. But would we be keen on investing in companies which do not have business exposure to India? No. So which means even if you're formed outside of India, but you have a large chunk of business exposure in India and you're playing the Indian financial services theme, that's where we will be more keen on investing.
Yeah, I think the other question which is also, I think, coming up is that typically large entities do not have great APIs and products to work with. So any thoughts on how ready IIFL to partner with APIs and relevant products?
So so there's a significant progress that we've made as an organization when it comes to, being at the forefront of offering the tech stack that the fintechs would need to partners. And I think I can assure that probably our APIs would be the one of the fastest amongst integration, right? Because when it comes to IIFL Securities, we've already issued a list of APIs which are available on openapi.iifl.com, where you can use our trading APIs to actually start integrating and offering trading or building on top of it. That's something that's out there. We've also published our APIs for personal loans. So if lending is something that you're looking at, then our APIs are also published out there. And then when it comes to integration with us and, the way we manage integrations, we'll say that we're far ahead than any of the other financial institutions that you might work with and end up actually sorting the paperwork only in a few months. That's not, that's essentially not the way we operate. But yeah, our APIs are far pretty ready, very, very ready in terms of, interacting with fintechs or getting them onboarded, because we've already done that, been there, right? So if you talk about lending, we are partners to Byju's, we are partnered to Zest Money. We've partnered with a couple of early stage fintechs like Extra Cap Finance and, which is into GST based lending. We've partnered across. So we were partners with PaySense. And there are, now we have close to about 24 partners that we've onboarded where they're doing our loan journey, whether it's mSwipe, Vyapar, Jimbo, Khatabook, Arzu, all of these guys, they have partnered with us to enable lending products.
Yeah, and I'll also give you an experience because we work with clients in the market as well. And we have a partner we have brought to the table, and we are working with multiple lenders as well. But to be very honest, IIFL is the fastest one on the ground from agreement to execution perspective. We have seen the pace, and that's something which I think our clients are very happy that they didn't. Normally, you look at the NBFCs, they move slowly, but I have not seen that at all in this case. And then this is the counter side, because I'm covered as a what do you say? Consultant to the partner, right? So we came from other side trying to get in, and we could move really fast. So that's positive right there. I think just one more question I can see. Yeah, and maybe while I read this question, maybe also the question is coming from the digital initiatives which are running in IIFL. Some insights, some inputs. What are the areas you are working and where you are looking at some key partners and B2B side to come on your side to support your digital initiative?
So I think I'll take this question in two formats. When you look at the digital initiatives across IIFL as an organization over the last 2-3 years, we've been very, very active in getting our digital initiatives in place. And in the last 1 year, we've entirely taken our digital loan journey on digital platforms. And probably IIFL is the first one in the industry to offer a complete business loan on WhatsApp. I think there's no other organization yet doing it, and not yet even doing it globally, because we believe WhatsApp as a medium is a great channel for someone to avail service. And business loan being the most complex of all while availing loans, we are the first ones in the industry to kind of do this and give that experience to our users that you can now avail a complete business loan on WhatsApp. We have our web, we have our app journey where we've made the entire process so seamless that a product like business loan, which is up to 30 lakh now for us, you can avail that loan in less than 2 days time. So basically, while we have embarked on this journey, there are obviously efficiencies that can be built in the processes. There are probably there might be people like you who are coming up with more ideas on how we can, make it much more simpler, or the efficacies of the results can go up, like as simple solutions as an OCR, how the accuracy can go up. Then we're more than open to partnering. If you talk about IIFL Securities, we rightly said that we've already opened our trading APIs, and we want as many fintechs to build on top of it as possible. We're very willing to participate with anyone trying to solve any kind of solutions there, whether it is a robo-advisory platform, whether it is a trading platform. All of these are areas that we're looking to engage with. Mutual fund advisory, and if you're building on in the mutual fund space, then that is also something which is of a lot of interest to us.
So another question I just saw was that if you've already invested in some segment, argument was legality, and somebody has some commonality between that product and this product, how would the overlaps work, and how would the investment work in these areas?
So overlap is something that we are not much worried about, because the point is, if you are you're building something, then obviously there needs to be a differentiator, and if there is a differentiator which is far better than or different than what an existing player is doing, we're more than happy to willing to collaborate and participate, because every time business is also looking for opportunities for better services to come in, right? But if there has to be a differentiator, if you are like, let's say between a legality and another company, if the entire tech stack to the offering is the same, then it becomes a little difficult call to take. But let's say their main focus area is Aadhaar e-sign, and you have come up with other legal solutions where you're digitizing the legal workflow, or you are working on certain specific segments within the legal space, or for that matter you're working on the analytics side of it. We're more than happy to work and invest in that company as well.
Excellent. I think I don't see any other question coming in, and request to each one of you, if you have anything you can ask right away. You can also fill the form, the feedback form, and we'll reach out to you, and sort of, if you are looking for partnership, we'll evaluate that. If you're looking for funding, we'll evaluate that. In case of funding, obviously we'll go through the process, we'll share you the link, and we'll take it forward from there. And as I said, top 3 guys will any which way get a chance to meet Venkat sir as well, right? So Meka, am I missing something, anything which we should have covered in the session? Because I'm like done with all the questions I can see now.
I think we've covered most of the aspects. We've spoken of the fund strategy. There was one particular slide that I thought I could talk about. So this is what we get in terms of how we have been helping our investee companies, whether it is to help them strategize their growth trajectory, and basically understand what exactly should be the future product roadmap that a company can follow, or whether it's about distribution reach, whether it's about mentoring. So, most of these startup founders that we've invested in, Nirmal sir, Venkat sir have been personally giving them time to, look at what they are doing, or what more can be done with them is something that we keep exploring. And then obviously with an institutional investor like IIFL coming in, there's some amount of financial discipline that comes within the company that we encourage companies to, because a lot of time at early stages, one of the things which is mostly ignored is the way you're actually maintaining things, which in the larger scheme of things, when you go for your next round of funding, or you go for larger round of funding, these small things could become a major challenge at a later point of time. That is something that we, as early on institutional investors, help ensure that when it comes to the way you're actually dealing with your financials, it's something that which is maintained well.
No, I know that session with Nirmal ji also is interesting, right? So I will give you a real instance. So we were all prepped, and we had created a deck and all of that, and it was pretty complex and deep, and we just presenting in 15 minutes here, finished it, given some inputs on how to go about and left, right? So that's the kind of guidance you get, saying how to move out, closing things out, and decision making is ultra fast. So we get that view as well, right? So I think that one interaction, a couple of them I've had till now have been very powerful. So I think getting that chance itself will be great. Yeah, anything else? I think last question we had was primarily about digital initiatives, but we have, I think, more or less covered almost everything, right?
Yeah, that's about it from our side. If the audience has any questions, I think we'll be open to answer.
Yeah, I don't see anything else. I think a lot of questions got covered. I think, yeah, okay. I think Joydeep, your question is very, very specific. I'll take it offline. Maybe this is more like outside and inside out. We'll talk about it later. But we've got your feedback as well. We'll plan meetings with you as we go forward. So perfect. I think we are done with it. And anybody who's looking for partnering with IIFL, please share your feedback, response back out here, and we reach out to you and plan your meetings as well. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maika, for
Thank
guiding
you.
us as well. Right? Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.